Hello, how's it going? Now, let's say you're somebody where you're finally gonna be able to buy your first property. This is your first home that you're gonna start your new chapter in. You're gonna live the next few years of your life in there, something that's gonna be just a happy time in your life because it's your first big purchase. And you're excited about this and this achievement that you are gonna carry on with you with the rest of your life. So you wanna make sure that this is the best experience as possible and that there's no mishaps. So there are precautions that you do want to take when you're buying your first property and things to keep in mind. And that is why in this list, I'm going to give you 3 don'ts and 3 do's when you're buying your first property to make sure that this is the most efficient thing ever to make sure that you are getting the home of your dreams and not having to deal with as many headaches as you need to, because if you don't need to deal with it, then we don't need to. So let's make sure that everything is good and you're keeping these things in mind so that you don't have to deal with those problems down the line. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Basilio. I'm a real estate agent here in the Las Vegas area, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the amazing information that you need to know about real estate. If you're into all that, then hit that subscribe button down below, because I'm going to give you 3 don'ts and 3 do's on what to keep in mind when you're buying your first property. Now, the first don't, and this is a serious don't, like really don't do this, do not buy any major things when you're going to get your first property. Now, what I mean by this, you're buying your first home, right? Now, what does a home need? It needs furniture. Now, the furniture is quite costly, especially couches and mattresses and all that fun stuff. So it's exciting. You want to get all that to put in your new home, but you don't want to do that quite yet because the loan officers will check your score again before closing. And if they see that you bought a whole bunch of furniture and now your money that you have in your bank account has reduced significantly, that's going to raise a red flag and they might not approve you for that loan, even though it's right before the closing deal, because they want to make sure that they're getting their money back. And that rolls me on to the first do, and that is do expect for the banks to check your credit score again right before the closing, because they want to make sure that you're going to pay back their money. Because think about it, if you're somebody, you're giving, let's say your friends, a lump sum of money, you want to make sure that they're going to pay you back. Now, most likely they're your friends, so you kind of already know their life, but if you're somebody who are giving out to a stranger, you don't know their life. So you want to make sure that they are stable. And how do you know they're stable? That they have the same job, they're not buying anything crazy, and that they're going to be able to have a consistent income so that they can pay you back all the money that you just gave them. So that's all the banks really want. So they want to make sure that you're reliable. So you need to show that you're reliable by not buying anything super expensive and not doing number 2 of the don'ts, and that is do not get a credit card. Do not get another credit card if you already have some. The reason why is because this then kind of hinders with your credit score. So if you get a new credit card, well then you know you're adding another thing to your credit line. Is something they have to keep in mind as well now, because again, they just don't want to see inconsistencies when it comes to your credit line. So don't apply for a credit card, because it will be something that they may have to look again and have to do this whole process again that you don't want to do because it's just not time efficient. Now, when it comes to actually buying the property, the second do that you do want to do is do keep in mind the HOA that you will be having to deal with when you get that property. Now, when it comes to HOAs, their main goal is just to have clean, nice properties, making sure everything is nice and safe for the community. And they do this by making sure that they have some rules and regulations of what you can and can't do with the property. Let's say they have a property that's a certain aesthetic, but let's say you want to make it orange. If let's say your dream home is orange, and they tell you cannot paint it orange because it doesn't match with their guidelines, well, that might cause frustrations in you because you want to make it orange, but they're not going to allow you to do that, and you can't really fight with them on this. So you want to make sure that you are looking at HOA, seeing what the rules and regulations are. And this is something that I've dealt with in the past before. I live in Las Vegas where there is HOAs, and so one of the properties that I was living in, there was weeds that would grow in the front of the property. And so in the lawn, they want to make sure that everything looks nice when they're driving by, and they see weeds, it doesn't look as nice. So they would send us letters to say that we had to pick it out or they will fine us. Now, if you're somebody where you're not expecting this, it might come out of nowhere for you. So you want to make sure that you are understanding why they're doing this. It's for a reason. So make sure that you're understanding what their rules and regulations are, so it doesn't hinder and doesn't make you feel like they're restricting your freedom, because they're honestly just trying to make sure everything is clean and nice, but you want to make sure that it fits with your lifestyle and what you want to do. And now the final don't when it comes to buying a property, and that is do not neglect why you are actually buying this property in the first place. What is the bigger picture on why you're getting this property? Because most likely you're not going to get it and then be done with it tomorrow, so you're going to be with it for a little while. So you want to see the bigger picture on why you're actually getting this. Do you just want to make this your home where you're going to raise your family, or do you eventually want to rent it out to tenants? Do you want to make one of the rooms like an Airbnb place so that guests can come in and you can make money that way? Or do you eventually want to raise the equity there and then sell it for a higher price, so that down the line you're gonna thank yourself because that you did keep that in mind, because then you'll be a better state and you'll know that you had a plan and you're sticking with that plan and everything is going correctly the way you want to do it and the way and how you want to do that. And now the last do, and that is do make sure that you're keeping a track of all your paper trails when it comes to your finances, because the banks might ask you for something that you may feel like, why do they care about that? Well, they care about that. They're the banks. They want to make sure that you are consistent, as I said before. So they might ask you for stuff that you might think is irrelevant, but they want to make sure that your finances are in check. Maybe let's say you got a lump sum of money from out of nowhere. Your buddy gave you some money, and if it's like above $1,000, what's above $1,000? You didn't get it from your job. They might see it as like, okay, well, where did you get this money then? And it doesn't make sense in your finances. So they want to make sure that you're getting money, they're getting money correctly through like a job or your business, but that you can prove it through papers and documents. So make sure your papers and documents are with you so you can show them and be ready with them, so that you don't have a headache having to go and search for it. And let's say you don't have it and it just discourages you on buying a property because you feel like you don't want to deal with this anymore. So just make sure that you are prepared for anything they might throw at you. So be ready with all your papers and documents, because they will ask for it, and you want to make sure that you have it ready in hand so you can give it to them in a timely and efficient manner. So keep that all in mind and you'll be safe and sound, and making sure that this will be an amazing process for you to enjoy, and that you finally have your first home that you can live in and spend the next chapter of your life in. And just thank you very much for checking out the video. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any more comments or questions about this, something you want to ask, let me know in the comment section below. I'll also put my Instagram down below. You can shoot me a DM if you have any questions or anything about this. But either way, hit that subscribe button down below if you enjoyed this video, got value out of it, and hit that like down below if you did enjoy this video and want to see more content like this. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.